Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Restoration Rundown Podcast, the podcast that is dedicated to you, the restoration business owner, and the success of your restoration business. This is part 3 of our 3-part series on how to set your restoration business up for success by protecting your digital brand assets. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to part 3 of how to set your restoration business up for success by protecting your branded digital assets. And if you missed the first 2 videos, we digested a lot of information out there, primarily what branded digital assets were, meaning they're all of the tangible digital assets like Facebook pages, websites, domains, that are branded with your company's identity, and how important it is to make sure that you are the one that owns them, you are the one that's setting them up, you are the one managing them. We don't want your neighbor's son or a nephew or a niece or a marketing agency to own or set up any of these things on your behalf, just because we've seen so many different restoration contractors and other business owners, quite frankly, over my years being a marketer, that fall victim to things like that, where other people actually end up owning their domains, their website content, and their social media accounts, okay? So recapping, we talked about in part 2, we talked about setting up your own domain registrar account. We use hxehosting.com. We also use godaddy.com. Both of them are very good. A domain registrar is managed by ICANN. They're just basically resellers. Make sure you put your information, your cell phone, your email, and everything in your domain registrar account before you buy a domain. Buy the domain yourself. Don't let anybody buy a domain, even if they say, oh, we'll just transfer it to you. A lot of marketing agencies do that. Do not do that. It takes literally 5 minutes to go buy a domain online once you decide what your domain name is going to be. We talked about setting up your website. Again, the overall theme is don't give anybody the keys to your car if they're the only set of keys that you have. Meaning, don't give anyone admin access, permissions to any of your digital assets that you cannot revoke at any time and still be on in good graces, having your website up and everything like that. So to protect yourself and grow the right way, again, I can't stress this enough, you need to own, you need to maintain, and you need to set them up yourself. So today, we're going to talk about the next 2 areas, being your other branded, digital branded accounts. We're going to talk about your Google My Business and social media. So, Google My Business, uber important, okay? So we've made videos before about marketing success for restoration contractors, and right up there with SEO and pay-per-click and your website is Google My Business. It's one of the, and probably the only way to be able to climb in maps rankings in your local search. Your maps rankings are really important, especially in service-based industries like the restoration industry. One, because most people are going to be searching this stuff from a cell phone or an iPad. If you're in an area like we are in South Florida and a hurricane hits and you don't have the internet, you don't have power, your cell phone is like your lifeline. So if you really need somebody to come remediate property damage, you're going to pull your phone out. And ranking well on the maps is important because that's one of the first places or first things that they're going to see when they do a Google search on their phones for a local service, okay? Google My Business allows you to get and manage reviews as well. And it's an integral part of your business. And Google My Business, just like owning a domain, don't let anybody set your Google business up and just grant you ownership access. I mean, I think lately, especially because Google My Business has become way more important the last year or so, year and a half or so, and even more than that. But even more so lately, a lot of restoration contractors out there that really kind of maybe set all their stuff up 5 or 6 years ago, really kind of neglected their Google business, let somebody else manage it. It wasn't really an important part of their digital marketing strategy, are now finding out how important it is, and then when they go to get access to it, realize they have no access to anything because somebody else set it up on an email that you don't have access to anymore, etc., etc. I've seen literally everything you can think of, and sometimes, and a lot of times, the only option that you have is to shut down and start over, which sucks if you have, a lot of reviews, and because reviews, as you know, are very hard to come by, okay? So we're going to talk a little bit about Google My Business, how to set it up yourself. Very easy. Again, head to business.google.com. Set it up with your contact info. Just remember, you have to have a Gmail. So in the last video, we talked about getting a branded email, and we suggested G Suite. Perfect way to do it, okay? So we use G Suite here at Ironclad Restoration Marketing. So if I was going to go set up my Google business account, brand new, I would use my ben.r@ironcladrestorationmarketing.com Gmail account. And that's the only way you can set it up. A lot of times, like if we have to get into a client's or set up a new one, we'll just set up a Gmail. It's free. So you can just go set up a Gmail, be your business name at gmail.com. Hopefully it's not taken, and then set up your business, Google My Business on that. And make sure you verify the Google My Business. If you follow along, you're subscribed to our YouTube, or you watch our Instagram videos, we talk about this a lot. You have to verify your Google business. There's a lot of different things that you need to make sure you have in order. One, you can't use PO boxes, have to have a physical address, and make sure you're managing and maintaining your Google My Business, because the match rankings are very important, especially in your industry. Okay, Google Business used to, and they actually just recently changed this, I want to say at the end of September, they used to have a permissions hierarchy, kind of like Facebook does, where you have admin, or they called it the owner, and then you either had owner access or manager access, all right? And traditionally, what you would want to do is make sure that as a business owner, you were the one that owned your Google My Business, and anybody that was going to be managing it for you, even if it's a review management company that's trying to help you get reviews, or a company like us, a digital marketing agency, that we got granted management access. And now Google's completely gone away with all their different permissions just to avoid this kind of stuff, and everything is a manager access. So again, the same rule of thumb applies. Never give anybody permissions that you cannot revoke at any time at all. Just like your website, if you gave somebody master admin privileges for your WordPress installation and they went in and deleted all your users and changed the passwords, well, guess what? You're not getting back into that website, and somebody's going to hold you hostage like a Russian hacker. All right. So make sure you're just granting management level access. And one quick thing on Google My Business, and I can't stress enough, is get reviews. All right, the reviews are what is going to help you climb in those maps rankings. And if you're breaking down the results on a search engine page, you're gonna have your Google Ads, you're gonna have your maps rankings, and then you have your organic section. Okay, so the website's gonna get ranked from the organic section if you're doing SEO properly, and your Google My Business page is a big driver of your rankings in the maps section. Okay, and you always want to get to that holy grail, the 3-pack. The first 3 that they show there is important, especially in your local area. Again, on a cell phone, it's one of the first things people are going to see. All right, so make sure, again, you own it, you're setting it up, and you're divvying up the access to people that you trust, and that you can also revoke that permission from them at any time. Okay, the next super important branded digital asset are going to be your social media accounts and your other business directory type accounts. Okay, these are one of the most valuable branded assets in a digital perspective that you can even think about, right? And there's a few reasons for that. Number one, the whole name of the game is building authority to your company, from a tangible way, and then from the digital marketing way, which is going to be building it in Google's eyes. So social media, especially for the big ones, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, all of those are considered high authority sites. And by having a little home on all those sites, it helps build authority to the domain of your website. As long as your name, address, and phone number is consistent across all these digital channels, you're going to experience the benefit of building authority to your domain. Now, from a traditional branding perspective, outside of people who are looking for property restoration companies just using social media to vet you out to make sure you're actually a legitimate company, you're building something tangible, right, that nobody can take away from you. That is unless Facebook goes down or something like that. But you're building something tangible where you're able to control your corporate identity, you're able to control your outward message of your business, and you're able to engage with your target clientele with posting, with showing before and afters, with providing value content. Okay, so having all these channels is really important. But again, back and why we're making this whole video is I can't tell you how many restoration contractors and other businesses in my marketing life we've talked to that literally don't own their social media at all. So they either sever a relationship with another employee, or like Google Business, they kind of just went through the motions 5 or 6 years ago when they set their business up, let somebody else set up their accounts. And now when they realize how important it is to either run social media ads if you're in a storm area, or just manage the day-to-day stuff, and you have no access to your stuff, especially if you spent money building followers and stuff like that, and you lose that access to those accounts, you're not going to get them back. Facebook and Instagram are really hard to get access back to your accounts. So outside of making sure you're updating your passwords regularly, you need to make sure you're maintaining, and you are the one who owns these accounts. Now, Facebook works via your personal Facebook. So my suggestion would be, even if you're not on social media, set up a personal Facebook, just put a picture, whatever picture you want, make sure it's legitimate, and then set up your business Facebooks from there. That way, you're the one divvying up access to everything. Instagram's really easy. You just use an email that's associated with your business, set up the Instagram. If you're going to give somebody a password, make sure that it doesn't get changed. Make sure you have two-factor authentication turned on, so if they do attempt to change a password, you're the one who gets the text message, and then you can decide whether or not you want them to change your password. Okay? And again, housekeeping-wise, if you do fire a marketing agency that's managing your social media, change your passwords. I've seen a lot of times people take their social medias for ransom, and we want to avoid that, right? So you can scale your business the right way. So use your either business branded email that only you have access to set up all of these accounts, and do yourself a favor and claim every single platform that you possibly can. Again, remember, you are building a tangible branded asset to your business. This isn't something you're spending money on. This is something that you are able to build, maintain, manage, and grow to help your business grow the right way. So let's say you're opening multiple locations. Well, you have the master Facebook to make all those announcements and engage with your target consumers, okay? And again, do not ever give anybody access to any of your social or any of your branded assets that you cannot revoke, all right? Remember, if you give somebody admin level access, they can basically lock you out of your own business. And it happens a lot, and there's not a whole lot you can do about it. All right. Because it's very tough to recover social media accounts. I've seen where Instagram and Facebook would rather just completely shut it down than have to go with a he said, she said, because technically possession is 9/10 of the law. So if you let somebody else set up your social media accounts with their email and all their phone and their cell phone, good luck. You're not getting it back. Right. And it happens a lot. It may have even happened to you before. So make sure that you are setting that stuff up on your own. So in general, with all these things that we talk about, hopefully we were able to convey how valuable these tangible branded digital assets are to your company, because it's something you can take with you everywhere, right? It's how you communicate and access your target demographics and how people get to recognize you. So you're able to build a visual brand from a digital perspective, and then when all of these things come together in the omnipresence method like we use here at Ironclad Restoration Marketing, where you're driving traffic with SEO, you're driving leads with pay-per-click, you're managing your social media, getting leads from there, but you're also working on your click-throughs and your conversions with your social media, showing off your work, your Google My Business to get you climbing in the map section. You want to just make sure that you own all that stuff. You don't necessarily have to go completely crazy posting all the time. This is more about owning your house. And I do the same thing. If you're going to build a brand new business, you're not going to hand your neighbor's kid, because they know somebody at the building department, all of your corporate information and say, yeah, just go get me a business license, put it in your name. I don't care. All I know how to do is restore. I don't know anything about businesses. Or you give your real estate agent access to set up a lease in their name, or an employee a lease in their name. You wouldn't do that. So you have to treat these digital assets much like your tangible assets, like your building and your vehicles and your actual business license and any kind of accreditations you have, okay? And again, we talked about this last time. Go ahead and download our free checklist on our website, ironcladrestorationmarketing.com. We have a 2021 Restoration Business Internet Marketing Checklist. It goes through a lot of the stuff we've been talking about, just to make sure you're keeping all your ducks in a row. And if you're missing any of these little check boxes here for your business, you have something to work on. It's always easier to have a list to work on, to check things off and get things done. And also, again, all of this information is in my new book, The No BS Guide to Internet Marketing for Restoration Contractors. You can find on Amazon. It's super cheap. This book is 150 or so pages of everything that has to do with setting up and marketing your restoration business online to triple your sales and actually grow the right way. We cover everything from making plans to the fundamentals, which is what these 3-part series was about, was the fundamentals, how to set up your website, how SEO works and Google Maps optimization and all your conversion fundamentals, everything that we see people struggle with every day. This book is full of the strategies that we use here at Ironclad Restoration Marketing for all of our restoration contractors across the US. And again, I know that you guys are very busy. That's probably why you're watching this video, just because you don't want to get yourself in a terrible situation. So if you do need any help, give us a call, send us a DM, drop us an email. Not only do we create content on a daily basis to help you guys grow your business the right way and get leads from online platforms, but my mission, personal mission or company mission, is to triple the sales of over 1,000 restoration contractors before we throw the towel in. And if we hit that, we're going to move to 2,000. And really, at the end of the day, we want to just make sure we're providing enough value and a good, solid, honest service to restoration contractors, because we understand that digital agencies can prey on guys like you, because restoration contractors aren't always the most technically savvy, and you have no choice but to trust people sometimes. And unfortunately, people take advantage of that trust and the ambiguity of these types of services. So anything you want to do or you want to learn, you can find it in our book. I spelled it out as clearly as possible, every little aspect of digital marketing. Or you can just give us a call, because we love to help restoration contractors. So if you need any help at all, send us a message. Stay tuned, subscribe to our YouTube. Make sure you're following us on all these channels. And we look forward to talking to you very soon. Hopefully you guys got a lot of value out of this. Make sure you set up your accounts on your own.